Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino, coming at you again today with yet another video and yet another breaking news video on the Sam Mendes of 4 epic biopic Beatles movies. I think that's kind of what they're calling it nowadays. Set to come out on April 28th. Well, we got some more casting news today, and I'm going to talk a little about that after the intro. And as I say today as I'm filming this, but actually yesterday as you're seeing this. So there we go. So yes, we got some news today about the cast announcement, and it's the Beatles' significant others is basically what the next kind of round of the casting announcement is. I'll have their pictures up here, and I'm really kind of shocked on this how perfectly they got them kind of matched up. As a matter of fact, the girl playing Pattie Boyd, immediately when I saw it, I didn't even need to go looking. I'm like, that's Pattie Boyd. I saw it immediately. So I think they did a really good job on this. I saw all the rest of them, though, pretty easy, too. But it was just like, I almost did a double take. Like, is that an actual picture of Pattie Boyd, or is that the person playing her? Well, so here's kind of the breakdown on it and where I've kind of known them from, I guess. And most of them I'm not really sure on, I guess. So, but Mia McKenna is playing, Mekenna-Bruce. I'm sorry, I got my little hyphen there and I didn't look at it. Mia Mekenna-Bruce is playing Maureen Starkey. I think they did a great job here on this. And I really don't know her from anything aside from like what I see on my suggested to watch list on Netflix. She was in the Vampire Academy, I guess. Otherwise, I haven't really seen anything with her in it. Now, this one, I hope I get the pronunciation right. I swear this is what Wikipedia said, even though I look at how the name's spelled and it doesn't make any sense. Saoirse Ronan? I don't know. I'm sure I got that completely wrong. But Ronan, I know is her last name, is playing Linda Eastman, or as she'll become as Linda McCartney. The big thing she was known for is the movie Lady Bird. I remember when that was out and all the Oscar buzz around it and everything, and I remember them talking about her with that. I don't think I ever watched that movie, though, so I guess I really haven't seen much with her either. And up next, we got Anna Sawai. I hope I said that right, too. I'm terrible with pronunciations. I am so sorry to any of you if you are seeing this. I doubt it, but or to anybody else. But her picture's up there. Is going to be playing Yoko, obviously, on that. And her I've seen in a movie. I almost hate to admit I've seen her in this movie, but F9, the Fast and the Furious 9th movie, F9, Fast 9. I have seen her in that. And then she's also in that Shogun, which all my friends are telling me to watch, so I need to probably watch that, especially now I probably need to watch that. And she's also in Star Wars Vision doing a voice. It's a Star Wars kind of anime thing, and I've watched the first season of it, but I don't think I've watched any since. So eventually I'll probably watch it, but she did a voice character in there. And then the last one, and the one that immediately I'm like, that's Pattie Boyd. Aimee Lou Wood. Wow, thank you for having just a simple little name there. Aimee Lou Wood, or Lou, as I said her name completely wrong there. Aimee Lou Wood. It's late night. I've been working all day after a long week. We'll get it. But you're seeing this in the morning, so I should be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm probably still asleep, to tell you the truth. But but Aimee Lou Wood is playing Pattie Boyd. Now, her I've seen in White Lotus, season 3 White Lotus. I absolutely love White Lotus. I didn't get watching it until after season 3 aired, but I kept hearing people talk about it, and I finally broke down and watched it, and wow, what a phenomenal show. And her character in White Lotus, she played Chelsea in the 3rd season. Really interesting character and everything. Great actress. She was just phenomenal. So I think another good winner there. She's also known for the show Sex Education, which is on Netflix. I always see that pop up in the suggested watch list there too. So, but yeah, that's kind of the breakdown on this. And a little thing I noticed on it, I know everybody was saying when the guys were cast too, when that announcement came out, that they were all in their 30s. Well, same deal with the ladies here. They're all in their 30s. I think one of them was like 29, so we could call her in her 30s at this point. The rest are all like 31, 32. So I think, first off, based off of this cast announcement and who is in it and who is not being portrayed, because there's no Cynthia Lennon, there's no Jane Asher, but there is Yoko Ono, and there is Linda Eastman, McCartney. Obviously, this is taking place later in the Beatles run, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping they weren't going to try to rehash, from the early 60s. And I mean, yeah, they go do a flashback scene or that. These guys all look like they could, if you did the makeup right, you could, de-age them a little, but I wouldn't want to see that for the whole movie. Like a flashback scene here and there, great. I think, and this is what I hope, but just based on this is what I'm kind of thinking, and I've been hoping from the beginning, that this story is going to be of the breakup, which I know sounds a little depressing, but I think it would be, as a Beatles fan, and I want my viewers that are seeing this to comment and let me know if you'd want this too, because I got a feeling a lot of us would want it kind of this way. I'm feeling like it's going to be the breakup and how all four of them kind of dealt with it on their own. And that's why there's 4 separate movies through 4 separate sets of eyes, and how it all went down. And that makes more sense at the breakup on that. And I think that would be a far more fascinating thing to see. How Beatle Ringo became Ringo Starr, the solo Beatle. How Paul McCartney became, Beatle Paul became became Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney and Wings, Paul McCartney. Beatle John became John Lennon, and, Beatle George became George Harrison, just as a solo artist. I think that would be a far more fascinating story, and I got a feeling that's what they're going with on this. Now, yes, maybe are they picking more older actors that maybe could look like they could be aged down a little, just for the maturity and, to make sure that the actors got all their chops and not hiring some young 20-year-olds to play it. Now, there's not great 20-year-old actors out there, but, maybe they're looking for more seasoned actors. But I really feel like it would be a much better story, and I know I've heard other people say this too, to look at it through the individual lens of the breakup and what they do in their solo careers. I am really hoping that's what they're going for. These latest biopics, rock and roll biopics that came out, The Complete Unknown with Bob Dylan from a year ago, and now just recently, the Bruce Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, kind of focus on a brief little timeline, not, their whole career. And I'm hoping that it is going to be that kind of that window, maybe from about 1969, maybe even into 68 a little, but 69 into about, maybe 73, 74, 75, kind of in there. I think that would be a far more interesting story for each of them. And I would like to see a story told in that perspective too. So let me know if that's your thoughts on this too. I really hope that's what they're going for. But just looking at this, like I said, there's no Jane Asher, there's no Cynthia Lennon. So are they planning later year Beatles into their solo year Beatles? And I think that's the route that they're going. I'm hoping that's the route that they're going, because as a fan, that's what I'd want to see. Now, would that be great for a wider audience? That's maybe, oh yeah, I've heard a Beatles song, I've heard Hey Jude. I don't know. But, for the fans that are out there, and I know there's plenty of us, and leave a comment below, because you never know who sees it. Sam Mendes, whoever, let them know this is what you want to see. I don't think anything's going to change anything at this point, because with the fact it seems like it's a long ways out, April of 2028, and we're only to, now November of 2025. Seems like a long ways away, but in terms of, what they got to do with the script and 4 scripts and then filming 4 movies all at the same time and, everything, with that, I don't know, but I really hope this is the route they're going. And I seem, just looking at this cast list and looking at the age of the actors and everything, obviously the Beatles were the Beatles from, the beginning to the end. So, but the girlfriends and the significant others, the wives, were not always the same. Maureen and Pattie Boyd, yeah, they were pretty steady from almost the beginning. But the other two, not so much. And the other two came in more at that later period. So, like I said, if they're not saying anything about Cynthia and Jane, but they are saying stuff about Linda and Yoko, I think that's a pretty strong indication of how they're kind of going with this, at least in my mind. So let me know your thoughts on that too. Let me know how you'd want to see these kind of play out. And do you think I'm onto something here? I kind of feel like I am, for some reason, between the actor's age and what particular characters were cast in this announcement. I think I'm kind of onto something. But anyways, I'm going to get fully wrapping up, as I don't want to make this too long, and I feel like I'm getting a little long-winded now. And before I do wrap up, though, I want to once again thank all my subscribers, and thanks to any new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like if you liked it. And like I always say, if you stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like and do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. I also want, comments on what you think on this, because like I said, maybe people will see this that, see what the fans really want to see. And you never know. Look at what happened with Anthology 4. It wasn't going to be released individually. Enough people complained in videos like this, and now we got an individual release. So there we go. So yeah, just leave a comment. Let us all know. And I'm going to get signing out. I'm Beetle Dustino, signing out.